Daith da, Obi Nakan. Welcome to podcast number 186. So another week has flown by, another quiet week. This week has been the quietest week we've had for such a long time. In fact, we've only had one proper funeral. I mean, when I say proper funeral, we've had others, but they've been early in the morning, our equivalent to like the pure cremation one. So we, as you know, we go straight to the crematorium at 8:30 in the morning. Friday last week wasn't too bad. We had a few ashes that, interminative ashes that we did. Went into the weekend, and I was planning on Sunday. I didn't do much on Saturday. Sunday I was planning to sort out paperwork and everything at home, and my feet didn't touch the ground. We had call-outs here, there and everywhere. We was up Lansing, we was St Austell, Padstow, just to name a few. So Sunday, all my plans went out the window. Really busy. So then when we come in the beginning of this week, although I'm quiet on the funerals, we're busy with arranging all of those funerals. And so there's a knock-on effect. But like I said, it's been a quiet week. We had Keith's funeral on Tuesday. Wow, what a crowd there. It was fantastic. Keith, St Colin boy really, but lived Wadebridge now for a good few decades. And it was lovely to see so many familiar faces there. It really was. And apart from that, our cars have been out on hire and that a bit this week. But pretty much that's me week. I did put for the title of the podcast, Taxing Times. And well, I think everybody is struggling at the minute with the cost of living. I mean, everything's going up so much. Taxes seem to be going up so much. And of course, we got the war in Iran as well. Still got the Russian conflict with Ukraine pushing up oil prices. So everything, it's getting so tough. But we're having a bit of a nightmare at the minute with tax. It really is. To give you the background, I mean, Father started the business. He took over from Ronnie Williams 1st of November 1981, and so that was our financial year, so that was fine. But where it changed a couple of years ago, my accountant said that over these next few years the government wants everybody's financial year to start the 1st of April. So I thought, all right, okay. So he said to me, that means this year we're in now, which was a couple of years ago, you've got a 17-month tax year. Well, the tax bill was astronomical, and 'tis frustrating really because we've always made profit over the years, and right from when Father started, we've never taken a penny of profit out. We just have our wages, but the profit we just plough back in, and obviously that's how we've managed to get this lovely chapel here, the cars we got and everything. So I said, I can't afford that. It was like 17 months. So he said, well, no, it's fine because you got 5 months you got to make up. You can make that up over the next 5 years. Whereas you have 5 13-month tax years. So I thought, oh, that's good. That isn't so bad. But what a nightmare. You wouldn't believe how much difference just that 1 month a year makes to me tax bill. And to make it worse, we've had the perfect storm. We've just finished the year now. The year before that was the busiest year we'd ever had. Well, of course, when you pay your tax for that, you then have to pay an advance payment on this year that we've just finished based on that year. Well, the year we've just finished now was quieter than the year before. If you add it over the 2 years, it's pretty much as it always has been. Like, you know, the death rate is pretty steady. But we had a manic year, so I had to pay lots of tax in advance, and then we had a quieter year this year. So one thing we do, I've got in the habit now that I do change a car every year, which, I mean, it's got us now. When I started, we were on real old second-hand cars. Well, now I do change a new car every year. And that does help a bit with the tax. I mean, because when you think a new hearse or a new limousine is about £150,000. So thought that's fine. So we were getting a new limo in the year that we've just finished, if you follow me, which helped with the tax. So we told the tax man, we get in the limo, So in that case, we reduced what we paid in January and what we're paying in July. Well, it all went wrong about a month ago. I had a funeral on a Sunday. You might have remembered it if you listened to the podcast. Funeral on a Sunday. And in the morning, I'm just looking through Facebook and there's a few funeral forums there. And somebody put, "God, isn't it a pity that one of the car makers, the coach builders, are going into administration?" And my heart sunk, because that's the company that we get our vehicles from. And we're so close to getting our limo. We had to get it by the 31st of March, which is another strange thing. We've kind of pretty much half paid for it, but you've got to have it physically and using it to get the tax relief on it. So my heart sunk, and it's so sad, really. I mean, they're an old family firm. I think they've been going 75 years, but they've been hit by a number of things from looking from the outside. And I mean, when we had COVID, a lot of funeral directors stopped changing their cars until things got back better, kind of thing. And then another thing which have affected how often some funeral directors change their vehicles is the effect that these online direct cremations have had on the number of kind of normal funerals that we do. I mean, we're bucking the trend here, perhaps, I don't know, but I don't think there's many local families, because they found out we're cheaper, we do it locally, we seem to do most of the direct funerals, but that has affected how often funeral directors change their cars. And then on top of that, also, they were the main Jaguar dealers. And of course, Jaguar now have decided they ain't doing XJs or XFs anymore. So there's no cars for the coach builders to buy to convert into hearses and limousines. So, yeah, it is quite a shock, really. They've gone into administration and they've got £75,000 of our money, and we were going to trade our car in for the other half, kind of thing. So it's all up in the air a little bit at the minute. I think we're going to be all right, because our car was so close to being finished. There's discussions going on with the administrators now, but it's, not the best of times. So anyway, I said to the accountant, "What do we do now then?" I said, "How much money am I going to have to find?" He said, "Thousands you have to find, and you'll get charged interest on it because you haven't got the car." So I said, "Well, God," I was thinking of changing one of the other normal cars later on this year, in this new year. I said, "Would that have an effect?" So he said, "No, not at all, unless you go electric." So I thought, all right. So I thought about it for a while. And, well, it's crazy. I mean, I think car companies, they've got to hit a percentage of what cars they actually sell that are electric. So they're discounting their new cars by a hang of a lot. And the tax relief I get, it was a no-brainer, really. So I rang up one of the dealers, because there's very few estate cars that are electric. Most of them are like SUVs or smaller. And I did ring a dealer and I said, "Here, I see you've got a car, one that's, available for sale. If you can guarantee that I can have it within a fortnight, I'll have it." And she said, "You can have it in 10 days. And we pretty much had it within 10 days, which has helped with the shortfall a little bit of the tax for the limo. So it's been stressful times, I tell you. I know everybody's struggling at the minute, but I thought I'd let you into why. If you see me going around now with an electric car, you think, what's on with Bray? But I'm actually doing this podcast. The car's plugged in, the sun is shining, the solar panels are charging the car. So at least that's making me happy that way anyway. But so that's me week, really. Dear old Philip come in today. He came in, happy anniversary. And I looked across at Beth. I thought, no, I haven't forgot it, have I? But Tin, our wedding anniversary. But apparently 15 years ago yesterday, he started working with us. So it was April Fool's Day, which I thought was quite appropriate. I think he's retired 3 times, but he's still going strong. So that was lovely. He popped in because we hadn't seen him all week. So that was good. I think the only other thing I've got to mention is YouTube. Now, people have said to me over the last few years, they say, oh, we love it how you're talking to so many people and it's going to be there on the internet forever, which I thought, yeah, that's good. And then I thought, actually, it might not be, because I do me YouTube. I do me podcasts through this platform. They then share it, sort of thing. But I do pay them a monthly fee. And of course, if ever I was to stop paying, or if I passed away and the kids didn't keep on paying it, I think all my episodes would come off. And I thought I was gutting, really. So I thought, how am I going to do this? So I was looking into perhaps setting up my own website that I could then also put the episodes on there. But of course, you've got to pay there for a lot of websites and that. And then I thought, YouTube came to me. So I looked into it, because YouTube's free. And I think YouTube will be there forever. I don't know. So what we've started doing, dear old Neil, we've been working in the office here. We've started uploading right from the beginning every episode onto YouTube. It's audio, so there's just the photo of me, but you ain't got to look at that, me and the cows, Fernley's cows. But it's just audio, and I'm thinking that will be there forever. So you just go on YouTube and put the life and times of a Cornish funeral director, or to make it shorter, you just put in Cornish funeral director, and it should come to my page. So we'll see how that goes. So I've always wanted to say this, because when you watch YouTube, they always say it at the end. So I'm going to say it now. So if you'd like to go on the page, like it and press subscribe, that'll help more people see it. Obviously, I think I'd have to get about 1 million views before I get paid anything for it. So there's going to be no financial thing at all, but it'll just help more people see it, really. And one of our staff said, well, I ain't going to press subscribe because that'll cost me money. And we said, no, subscribe. It just means every time that a new episode comes up, you get notified on your YouTube channel. But yeah, it's something that hopefully now the episodes will be there forever. So all the interviews I've done with all our local people, some have sadly gone on now, will be there forever. I did have one of my old schoolmates in yesterday. Sadly, we were arranging his mother's funeral, and something come up about the podcast. He said, don't you mention that blimmin' podcast to me. He said, my missus have just started listening to it, Sarah. And he said she's listened to all the blooming time. She's catching up. I think she started from episode 1, because you can troll back through and you can listen to all the old episodes. And he said if she got trouble sleeping at night, I wake up 3 o'clock in the morning and I hear David Bray's voice next to me. So that did make me laugh. And Alexandra, me met down Newquay, I mean, she told me that she listens to it when she's in the bath. So, yeah, it'd be good to hear where else you're listening to it, really. But there we go. Right, well, I think that's enough from me. We'll now go over to Rex for our second episode. It is fantastic, I tell you. I haven't cut much out at all. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And the response last week was fantastic. And there's going to be a few episodes yet. And there's so many things he didn't talk about, I think I will be going back to seeing in the future. But we'll go over to Rex now for part 2 of his interview. And then I'll speak to you directly with me Cornish word and me dialect for the week. So, here it is.
Oh, I haven't told you this. In Tremorva, I started my first business.
Okay.
That was poultry, chicken. I had deep litter in the winter. I had Plymouth Rocks, 2 Plymouth Rocks, light Sussex, brown Leghorn, black Leghorn, Rhode Island bred, and some bantams. In the winter, it was lovely. I used to hang up old cauliflower that come out of the field that wasn't no good to eat, but lovely for chicken. Oh, it was beautiful. Egg market and board used to come Mondays. I would have all the eggs ready, smalls, large, medium, large.
Yeah.
And it averaged between 1 and 3pence, 1 and 6, and 2 bob a dozen. I always remember it. And then the week after, they come with a pay packet, and you peeled off the top, and then you put that in your thing, and that was savings again.
Yeah.
But in between that, When the trawlers used to come to Patstow from Great Yarmouth, I jumped on a trawler in Patstow and walked right across the quay. It'd been full right up. This was in the early 50s. It was all from Great Yarmouth, Lowestoft.
Yeah.
I had to think from Lowestoft. And I used to go down there and I went down on me the Bridge Whitworth bike with a sack. And they'd load up with fish. I had enough fish. Didn't sell them, but took them round all the neighbours around.
Yeah.
All the neighbours from round Tremorville, they all had fish. Oh, there was Rex coming with the fish again. Lovely. And I'm telling you, David, and I aren't exaggerating, flat fish would have been 2 to 3 foot flat.
Really?
The size of it.
Yeah.
You can't believe the size of the fish. But they used to fight. They didn't fight, but they would shout, over here, over here. Oh, they wanted eggs, see?
Yeah.
They had the eggs, I had the fish.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Oh, just bloody handsome. So that went on, and we gradually went on and on and on, working for my uncle. Then he promoted me as a tractor driver, and I used to spin the potatoes, do all the work. Lovely. I had 5 Ferguson tractors. Power engineering used to come to service them. They had an agreement to service a tractor for 10 shilling a day. They come with a standard Vanguard van, and they were built in Ferguson's factory.
All right.
The same engine went in the Vanguard. And it went on and on and on. He had a habit. You come with clean clothes on a Monday, pretty good, and you'll be on a dirty job. He didn't mean it, but he didn't realise. Yeah. But he was a master as farmer, nurseryman, everything you would think of. Well, he put me creosote and gates. Right. And creosote then it would burn your skin quicker than lightning. Right. And we had easterly wind, and I was up high lanes, the top field, right in the wind doing the gate. So I come home. I had a matchless 500 motorbike. I bought in Searles in Weybridge for £120.
Yeah.
Searle, do you remember where Searles was in Weybridge? Yeah,
that's right.
He had a boy as well, went Weybridge School.
Yeah, Jeff Searle.
Jeff, that's right, he did. Well, in between all that, I used to work down Drethen Farm for Mr. Geach, William Thomas Geach. Right. Well, William Thomas Geach went to the Festival of Britain in 1952, was it? Right. About that, around the early 50s, bought a MG Magnet, brand new. Farming back then was pretty good. Yeah. Bought a brand new Nuffield tractor. Well, this Nuffield tractor, we was going over. I was over driving E for nothing, night and day. Yeah, exactly. To keep it all, just lovely. Yeah. Well, John his son, had a push bike, used to push, and Rose was a land girl. Right. And John, he was a lovely bloke. John and me was down one day. I said, John, how done nothing grow there? There was a black patch in the field. Right. I said, in the war, he said, a German plane come down there, and I pulled them out, caught fire and burnt, and nothing have ever grown there since. Oh, right. He was, it would grow a little bit, but when the grass was up there, they would have that, Yeah. Well, months after that, no, it could have been 12 months after that, I was down with John, we was owing turnips, because they used to, William Thomas Geach was marvellous with his turnips, really marvellous. But a Volkswagen come down. John said, who's that? I said, I haven't got a clue. I'm only a tacker. Exactly. I said, I haven't got a clue. Bloke come over, he said, I've come to thank you and shake my hand. You pulled me out of the aeroplane. Oh, and I had tears in my eyes. Yeah. John had tears and he had tears. Yeah. Come all the way, he said, I've been saving up to buy a car in Germany to come over here to thank you for saving my life. Yeah. And that stuck in me. Yeah. I always have stuck right into me. So then, what do we do then? Yes. Oh, yes. everybody wanted to drive this Nuffield tractor, didn't they? Pat's the boys, Mully, McCowan, all of them was out there. I was back on the trailer, putting the sheaves away, right up the top. Willie let the clutch out. No, he don't know this, mind, but he let the clutch out. I come off the back, plonk, down on my back. Oh. Didn't make much of it at the time.
No.
You said, John said, you better go home and take it easy for an hour or two. You know, it wasn't long before I was back there again. Yeah. You know what it's like. Well, went on, and I had pain in my knee and my leg all the way up. And what I had was to end up, I was rushed on Christmas Eve, and there was floods of rain. Laddock was flooded, I remember that. And I ended up in City Hospital. I had 12 months on my back.
Oh, no.
With plaster up to there, legs out there. Before that, up on a beam like that with weights. Oh. And I used to go down in the bed till the weights touch the bottom and the pain would ease. Then the nurses would come and pull me up in the bed. Oh. Agonies. Well, we had some stories about that too. Stayed there for 12 months. Wendy E. down Trevone, she was a nurse there. Esther Turnouth, she was another nurse. Got to know them all. My father was on the buses, Southern National. The best trip they ever had was Truro on Wednesdays.
Okay.
Every driver for 12 months swapped with my father so he could come down to see me.
Really?
And I thought that, I've looked back over it since, that was their day out because they go Truro.
Yeah.
They was down there all day, see?
Yeah, exactly.
It was a lovely day. Father used to come up. I could see, well, he'll tell you, and I know he would tell you, the man there with his uniform on, looking at the clock. Yeah, ring a bell, you can go in now. Right. He was dead on, whatever the time was, and the time coming out exactly the same.
Was it? Yeah.
But weren't that good are they drivers?
Yeah.
And the drivers one was Stan Owen from Weybridge.
Right.
Jeff Bone from St. Cullum, he kept poultry as well. Choppy Thomas in Patstow, he was a conductor. Oh, that's another thing. Budget, 1950 something, 52 or 3. Budget in Patstow. Father, Choppy sitting beside him. Father driving the Bedford OB, going out past. Father said, I'm going to give up smoking to Choppy. And he took his pipe, his pouch, everything, slung right in the key.
Right.
Choppy said, oh, do you know, I could mind to. Father grabbed all his, haved in the key as well. Never spoke for a day or two, but they both gave up smoking.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was going up threepence house, baccy. The baccy was going up threepence house. Right. In between all this, it's maybe a bit of a, I don't know, it's a bit higgly-piggly, but I can't help it.
Yeah.
George Oldham in Patstow, fish and chips. The first fish and chips I ever had from George Oldham was 10 pennies.
Right.
10 pennies. But George had a coal fire like that there, a coal fire frying them. What's the name? Beef dripping, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Fish and chips was lovely. Yeah. But he had a habit of spitting on his fingers, like that, spitting on his fingers, and then throw the chip back in. Oh. So we boys always looked for that chip that had been squat, and we used to chuck that one out of it because he spit on his fingers. But that was true. And Mrs. Oldham, George Oldham's wife, all she ever said, you couldn't get a conversation out, salt and vinegar. That's all she would say, salt and vinegar. Yes, please, Mrs. Oldham.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much you like? Oh, yeah, lovely. Yeah. And the fish and chips was out of this world. Mm-hmm. So when I was working for my uncle, big potatoes, sour and banners, used to go to Doug Lang in Weybridge.
Oh, yeah.
And Doug Lang had an empire in Weybridge, shops everywhere. and he'd be whistling, whether it was a nervous whistle, I don't know or what, but he'd go round half part of the morning, pick up all the money, bank, all the time, banking money.
Yeah.
But his fish and chip shop was the greatest.
Yeah.
I ain't worried what anybody say. He was the first to have a jukebox.
All right.
The jukebox was out of this world with the loveliest records on you could ever have.
Yeah.
Right. So we used to go in the Weybridge with big potatoes. My uncle would grow seed potatoes for Suttons. Bill Osborne, the snizzy band man, drove the lorry for Bill Jonas, and that was a Leyland Lynx XWD. And every time my uncle will have the bags, underweight bags, set up, and we would load them.
Yeah.
But Bill would say, "You my bag short."
Right.
And my uncle used to count their bags right through, but he'd make a bag of teddies for himself every time. You wouldn't believe it. Every time. Do you know, he said, my uncle said, "That bloody Bill Jonas have done me again. Bill Osborne have done me again. He always do it.
Yeah.
You know, he got, in the end, just to put extra one on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that was that. But when I fell off that load of corn, Christmas Eve, I was rushed down to Treadwell. That was a terrible thing. Not Treadwell, City Hospital.
Yeah.
City Hospital for 12 months. Then Perranporth Convalescent. They had a bamboo club just under the bridge down there. Roger and Paul Cowan used to come and, when my mum and dad pushed me in a basket chair, which was like a bed, it was a basket on them, up to Malingy, not the Malingy, Snizzy Malingy, another Malingy down there, up the valley. And I always remember that. And my mum, I don't know why, she used to bring them lovely lamb sandwiches for me and the mint sauce on it. I know, I can taste them now, what they was like. Yeah. But she cut the crust off. Oh. Just like, you know, well, they mustn't see about, you know, that wasn't no good to me. I said, I want the crust on there. Exactly. So, and I tell you what, my dad had a habit of always, with bread and butter or anything, fold over. Not cut it, fold over. Yeah. And I'm the same. If I have a sandwich, fold over, tastes better. And I don't know why. No. Well, down there, so by this time, it was Weybridge School, secondary modern school, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Dad finished with the national buses. The time went on over the years. He finished because it was a one-man band that done away with the conductors. One-man band, and he said, "I don't want to handle money." He was that sort of person. He was a worker, but he didn't want to handle money and give change and all that. Well, we went on and on and on, and he drove the school bus. 1 year Willis would have it, Hawke's had it, kept the bus in the lane in Tremorville. There was a lane. He had a habit of summertime, the coach would stay there. But summertime, he would go out and have a habit of starting up. And there wasn't no alternators then, there's dynamos on there, everything, see, on coaches and all that. Come to go school, wouldn't it? Wouldn't start. Right, boy, right, get the Fordson out, old Sandra Fordson. Get he out, went over, and you would turn the handle twice, then down around, and if you're setting up exactly, pull up, and you'd fire right away. Hitched up the coach to one. The coach was 8 ton, 14 underweight, I think. That was a big, heavy coach with a Gardner engine in it. And he pulled them, and the wheels didn't turn half a turn. He fired up just like that. Right, there's me now. Save me front seat by the door. Don't let nobody else go in there, because I was on the door. So up to Weybridge School, went on. Very, very, very awkward for me. I've missed out. I've missed out a lot. Passed through school.
Right.
Oh, the main thing. Passed through school. My Auntie Doll, that's my mother's sister, went with Miss Googe.
Right.
to college together, and they was friends all their way through.
Yeah.
But Miss Googe ended up in Pasto Primary School doing the infants, and my auntie was assistant headmistress of Plymouth School.
Right.
And they fell out over it.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh. And she made me suffer.
No.
She would hit me across the head with a book.
Oh, no.
She, honestly, my ears are still bad now. I've been hit with teachers over the years. And certain teachers done it. Bowled across the head with a book. So, particular day was very cold. Harry Wills was the caretaker. But Harry was gone past his sell-by date, similar to what I am now. But he'd be rolling his fags, and he used to chop a little bit of firewood. Right. And that was Esther Trenouthan, that you know.
That's right.
Esther Trenout's dad.
All right.
Well, she said, I got a job for you. Right? I had no education whatsoever, and that is telling the truth. Sinizzi I learnt with the beads to count and a few things, but nothing. Parts of school I never learnt nothing whatsoever. Headmaster was lovely, called Mr. Ashby.
Right.
I would say, Dad's thrashing tomorrow. He got half a day's thrash up Tremorva. Charlie Powell's coming in. I said, is there any chance to have a day off? He would say, certainly, you'll learn more on there today than you will in here.
Yeah.
And then the next day he would say to me, what was it like? What was the corn like? And I'd tell him all about it and how much a ton we had and all the rest of it. Well, she put me on fires.
Okay. Yeah.
Slow but sure fires. 14 of them in parts of school. Oh. I ended up doing a lot. Honestly. Well, I thought summer's come on that she's going to learn me something. No. She said, you look after the school garden now and grow vegetables for the canteen.
Right, okay.
So that was my education.
Yeah.
So when I went in years after, I had no education whatsoever. We better miss out lots of other things because I could go on and on and on.
Well, thank you, Rex. That was proper. And like you say, you've missed loads out, but there's still loads to come. More next week. Now, for me Cornish words of the week, as 'tis Good Friday tomorrow and 'tis Easter, I don't know if I did this last year or no. I ain't going to listen back. But I thought I would do Happy Easter. So with so many phrases in Cornish, and Welsh is similar, 'tis always back to front. So Happy Easter is Pasg Lowen. Pasg Lowen, which is P-A-S-K, new word, Lowen, L-O-W-E-N, which is actually Easter happy, because Pasg is Easter, Lowen is happy. So they always say it back to front. So Happy Easter, it's really Easter happy, but that's what it is. So Pasg Lowen. So there we go. Now, for me, Cornish dialect of the week. Now, this is a booty. While I was out on my call-outs last weekend, I did a few with Neil, a few with Andrew, and he came up with this lovely saying, which I hadn't heard before, from his old neighbour out Slades, Jack Steer. Now, Jack Steer would have been a booty to actually, have on the podcast. I remember a lovely story about poor old Jack. He'd been out on the beer once night, and he was, what should we say, wasn't feeling too good, leaning over the toilet, and his false teeth went down the toilet. And I think the next morning, because back then you didn't have the sewage system where it all went into the main sewers, it just went out into the river. So I think the next morning he had half of Slades Bridge looking to where all the sewage pipes come out into the river, trying to find his teeth. I don't know if they did find them or no. But anyway, Jack come out with this saying years ago. And Andrew, as he was coming out for the call out with me, Julia, who works for us, and she's on her week's holiday now, dear of her, Julia had put the tea on the table, and he said, God, mine was piled up. He said, I can't eat all that. And he said to her, if I ate that, I'd be blowed out like a Penzance newt. which I thought was brilliant. I'd be blowed out like a Penzance newt. So I'd never heard that before. I thought it was brilliant. I was talking to me mate last night, Steve Burrows, down Camborne, and I was telling him about that one, and he came up with a few other similar ones. So I must speak to Steve and get them written down before they're all lost, kind of thing. But blowed out like a Penzance newt. Right, well, I'll leave you with that now. I say, have a happy Easter, and pass glowing, and I'll speak to you next week anyway. Wish you well. Do Ganas. Curnovis Fican.